I am the big tank.
On the battlefield of life, nothing's harder than a
Tank.
tank. Yeah, have you ever met a man, hearts full of love, bigger than a
Tank.
tank?
Big tank.
He served in a few wars, he's a veteran that stands for a cause. For the best interviews and news, just keep it glued to the
Tank. I
tank.
am the tank. Big
Big
tank.
Tank Talk.
Tank.
Big Tank Talk.
Tank. Hello, friends, and welcome to another episode of Big Tank Talk. Today, I get the pleasure of introducing one of my favorite people on Clapper. My friends, this is the original Vanilla Gorilla. Vanilla, welcome to Big Tank Talk.
Thank you for having me, Tank. How are you doing today?
I am good. Now, every first question is the same. Tell us a little bit about you and how you came to be on Clapper.
Well, I'm a person who likes to shoot from the hip. You're going to hear everything straight up from me, and that's what kind of got me off of Instagram. Been on Instagram since 2015, and about a year ago they banned most of my accounts, and I was tired of the censorship. And someone told me to check out Clapper, and that Clapper was a different type of platform where you could have more free speech. And I said, I'll check it out, and I've loved it ever since. I've been here for about a year now, a little over a year.
All righty. Now, first question, other than that, how did you come up with the name Original Vanilla Gorilla?
Well, I was going by Vanilla Gorilla at first, and I swapped it out. I do name changes a lot, keep people on their toes. And when I came back to put Vanilla Gorilla, someone else had taken the name. So I had to add the original in there. The way I got the Vanilla Gorilla was people would call me the albino ape.
Really?
And I thought that was funny, and I took it and I ran with it. I said, I'm the Vanilla Gorilla.
Oh, that makes sense. Now, just to get to know you a little bit, you are you married and do you have children?
I am married. Been with my wife for 20 years, and we have two children.
Right on. Um, like again, this is just so we get to know you. What kind of work do you do?
Oh, I'm a man of many trades. I'm a trained chef, culinary arts of Le Cordon Bleu, uh, French style cuisines, but I've specialized in Middle Eastern Mediterranean cuisines mostly. Lots of seafood,
Right
lots
on.
of old world foods. I'm a licensed knapset engineer, solar and wind, uh, energy. I'm a handyman, so I do a lot of things. I get a lot of things done.
Right on. Now, first question from our friends in the chat. Ted would like to know, what is your obsession with stalkers?
um, I, when I had big following on Instagram, you'd build these stalkers, these trolls, and that you're always going to get one or two, and people usually just block them. I like to kind of irritate them. I kind of like to irritate them. So when I find someone that's been a stalker or a troll or comes around in the lives, uh, tries to mess with the vibe that's going on, I kind of get obsessed and I like to go after them instead.
Right on. Welcome in, Sylvia. It's good to see you. That's little lady one, in case you don't know her, Vanilla. Peter wants to know, do you drink or smoke?
I don't drink like I'd like to, um, but I do smoke. I am 420 friendly, and lighting up here shortly.
Right on. And Paul would like to know, do you know Ezekiel?
Fuck you, Ezekiel. I one of my names is Tony, so people call me Tony. And when some of the Clapper people found out that my name's Tony, they started to fuck you, Tony, fuck you, Ezekiel, and it's just been an ongoing joke.
Mr. Rose asks, what's your favorite season and why?
I'd have to say fall. Fall, maybe beginning of winter. I prefer colder weather. I like the seasons, the holidays, the decorations, the festivities that come with it.
Right on. Good answer. I find as I get older, I enjoy the extremes of weather less. So I don't like it when it's real cold or real hot anymore. But if I had to have one, I'd have the real hot.
Right.
LD Sweet says, do you teach others to cook?
I've tried. I'm not a good teacher. Um, some people want to be leaders, uh, but they're just destined to be followers.
Right. All right. Ignatius Riley, which is our friend Marshall, asked, as a facial hair man myself, how long have you had your beard?
I actually shaved it on my birthday last year, so this is about a year and a month old.
Now I have to ask this because it kind of is related. You have decided to participate in the fundraiser that the Shaka Crew does every year. Could you
Right.
tell us about how you intend to participate this year?
Well, I decided to, help with the children's charity, and decided to do a challenge. If we can raise a certain amount of money, then I will go completely clean shaved. Uh, no goatee, no mustache, no facial hair. And I haven't done that since I could grow facial hair.
Yeah, well, except for the day I got married, me neither. And that should have been a warning for me that the marriage was a huge mistake. But that's beside the point now. Ted wants to know why California, which
Ted,
for those of you who don't know California.
I'm gonna give two parts to this. Family. 99% of my family lives in California. My wife's family lives in California. The second thing is, for over 3 decades, we've had right-minded people. I'm not going to say right-wing, but the right-minded people um, have a huge exodus out of California. And if you're supposed to stand and fight, and you'd have nobody left to fight with, I can't just run away and let people I love stranded behind.
Right on. So Val, which is Gangster Granny, wants to know what makes you want to join groups on Clapper.
I wasn't here for groups. I didn't even really know what groups was when I got here. But I kind of, found that I gravitated to certain people more. Certain groups were more fun, and I stuck around them long enough for some of them to want to include me.
Right. Understandable. Peter, who, by the way, I should mention is located in the UK, asked, have you ever been to the UK or South Africa?
I have been to the UK for a 36-hour trip. We were flown in to see a boxing event. Spent 2 nights there, and then we were flown back. So I don't have much experience in the UK. I'd like to go back and visit and actually get a good taste.
Right on. Mystic Rose would like to know, what are some favorite family traditions that you still do?
We celebrate Christmas on January 6th.
Why January 6th?
Well, if you count the 12 days of Christmas, January 6th will be the 12th day.
Yes.
So
Also
we
known
traditionally,
in some places as Little Christmas.
right. and we also call it the epiphany. So that's something I try to do with my children too, because it was something my grandparents did with with my parents and myself. So it was something I wanted to keep.
Okay. American Truth wants to know how you like this app.
Dude, I came from Instagram. This app is miles better. The quality, the less glitches. Believe it or not, I still hang out with people on Instagram. This tank has less. I mean, this app has less glitches.
Less tanks too.
Less tank. We got one real tank here.
Okay. A variation of Marshall's question. I'll ask it this way: if you could go back in time and talk to your younger self, what advice would you give your younger self?
Wow. Don't hold yourself back. I did that a lot. Uh, didn't think uh, I was good enough to try certain things, and I held myself back until I was getting too old to even try them. And then by then, I tried them, and I was like, "This is awesome," but I'm not going to be able to do it for too long.
Yeah, I understand that. Um, Ted asked, "What foreign countries have you seen?"
Oh shit. I've been to Lebanon. I've been to Syria. Been to the UK. Been to Ethiopia. Uh, Mexico, of course, right down the street. But yeah, I've been to a few countries. I'd like to travel the world a little bit more. Probably go see Australia next.
That would be so much fun. All right. Paul asks, "Who influences you most in your life?"
Oh, Paul. um, my grandfather did. My grandfather worked up until he was 90 years old.
Wow,
Um,
that's
he drove
impressive.
a car. He drove a car up until 89. He passed away this last summer at the age of 97.
Right on. I have to ask this: Is there any truth to the rumor that you're still getting royalties for playing Dr. Zaius on the original Planet of the Apes?
I knew there was going to be a Zayas question in there somewhere. I didn't think how it was going to be framed. No, I don't get royalties. That wasn't me. I might be a good uh, stunt double in the future if they plan on bringing him back. So,
I had to ask. Anyway, Ronan asked, "Where did you attend chef school or culinary school?"
so in
That
Pasadena,
it was asked, Ronan. So I'm sorry. Go ahead.
there was a place in Pasadena called the Culinary Arts of Le Cordon Bleu, which is a French-based uh, cooking school. They've closed since in 2000, I believe 2015, maybe 2016. They finally closed their doors. They actually closed all their campuses across the U.S. for some reason, and I never bothered to figure out why.
All right. Now, I do also ask some Clapper specific questions, brother, and I do have some for you. Peter, I
Go
see your
ahead.
question. I'll get to it. So let's get a couple of these. First, what's your favorite thing about Clapper?
My most favorite thing about Clapper is the lives aren't timed. You want to go live for an hour, 5 hours, 10 hours? Go ahead. I think we were limited. I was limited because of my shadow banning on Instagram to just 1 hour lives. And if you're in a conversation with someone and you're getting uh, in a debate, a very uh, well spoken debate, and then your life comes to an end, it's kind of hard to pick back up.
That makes a lot of sense, actually. What do you think is the worst thing about Clapper?
The whole stroll, and what I mean by the whole stroll is how they just come into your lives, and all they do is use your life like a billboard. Hey, come check out my live starting in 15 minutes, one-on-ones for $10. And it's like, that needs to be.
Yeah, they're what I call the clapper hookers. And yeah, they get booted out of my lives immediately by my mods.
Right.
So who on Clapper in particular inspires you,
You
if
know,
anybody?
a lot of people. I can't just pick one person. Um, there's a lot of them. Blues from Canada, I believe he's in Canada.
Blues
Blues
man, he
man.
came in by the way. Welcome in, Blues man.
Hey, welcome in. Him and some of his crew, like Diamond Lou. You know those musicians. I wasn't allowed to play instruments as a kid, so anytime I see people rocking out, I'm forgetting his name, but he plays the drums.
Britain,
And every time he's playing, I want to be like right
that's
there
Britain.
next to him, just chilling out with him.
You're talking about Britain that goes
Britain,
in
Britain. There we go.
on the Wednesday live with Blues man. Yeah, he is
Right. So
phenomenal. He's go ahead.
yeah, I was just saying. So those people were some of the people I like watching. I like spending some time getting influenced by. You yourself, Tank. You have great patience. Um, deal with some of these idiots on this app. And now I'm not saying the people here watching us are the idiots. I mean like the trolls. When the trolls come in and how you handle these trolls. Uh,
I
you
understand,
have
brother.
patience. I don't have that patience, and I'm trying to be more like Tank.
I appreciate that. Have you ever actually met anyone off of Clapper?
No, I've met one person off of social media, and that was a huge mistake. He ended up being some weird pervert.
Hey, Mixer Man, welcome in, brother. Would you like? Are there people on Clapper you would like to meet?
Oh, definitely. The whole Shocker crew, every single one of you guys. Uh, you yourself, Tank, of course. Some people that used to be on this app that are no longer here because of drama in real life. Some of them too. I'd like to meet a lot of people. Clapper is a different environment. It's more um, like a tight knit family community. If that makes any sense.
Yes,
People
sir. It
here
does.
actually want to have events together. They want to have hangouts together. That it wasn't much of that on Instagram.
And one more Clapper specific question. What do you think most is the most understood thing about Clapper to people? Because I know there are some people that do misunderstand Clapper.
Um, well, they think because it has more free speech, it's completely free speech. Some people will come in here to do their, disgusting content.
Yeah, I agree. Um, then Peter asked, "Do you think we should save or scrap fossil fuels?"
Why would we scrap it? That would send us back 100 years. Most everything we have in the world runs off of fossil fuels. Whether it's your internal combustion engine or the coating on the wires in your radio.
Not to mention the fact that without fossil fuels, electric shit doesn't work either.
Right.
Um, and I miss. Oh, Marshall wants to know if you could meet anyone in the present or the past, who would it be and why? The why is my add-on.
Anyone in the past? It would probably have to be like a Greek philosopher, um, somebody with ancient knowledges, ancient wisdoms, um, just something that we've kind of lost touch with nowadays.
Also, Peter wanted to know. I don't know that you're smoking it now, but the 420 you smoke is the good stuff. It's a
Oh,
common question.
definitely. This was first place winner at the Cannabis Cup. I don't. I only smoke stuff off the top shelf.
That makes sense to me. Ted would like to know, can you show us your Popeye impression?
Ah, He's my spinach.
That's awesome, brother. Um, Now I have to ask because it is that time of year. Are you a fan of decorating and celebrating Christmas prior to Thanksgiving, or do you like to wait until after that?
I have rules. I have rules. So my rules go: Halloween decorations come down 1st of November. You you want to put up um, fall, autumn decorations for Thanksgiving? Go ahead. They come down the day after Thanksgiving's over, and you don't set up for Christmas until the 1st of December.
That sounds reasonable to me, although I'm sure some people will disagree with you and
Some people
probably
have
have
had their
one.
decorations up for 3 months. My neighbors have had theirs up since before Halloween.
Now this goes back a bit of time in Clapper, but I'll ask because I'm just curious. Mayonnaise or Miracle Whip?
Mayonnaise, best foods or Hellman's?
Yeah, I'm a big fan of Hellman's. There was a what they call the mayonnaise wars on here. I think it started like 3 years ago, or more even.
Really?
Oh yeah, it's it's been quite. There were a lot of video. I even made a couple of videos. But there were a lot of really good videos made about it. And
Miracle Whip tastes like if you had like government mayo.
yeah, and Blues Man says, "Don't start that again." Um, Now let me ask you this: I do. How have you always enjoyed singing?
So um yes, I've always enjoyed singing. I wasn't allowed to sing. Um my dad thought it was in the lines of homosexuality to be a singer. So I wasn't allowed to play instruments. I wasn't allowed to sing. I wasn't allowed to do anything that he saw feminine. So I
Can't
always
say
did
I
it in
agree.
secrecy.
I can't say I agree with that, brother, because all of my life, singers always got women. Guys that sang always got women, and there's
Right, right.
nothing homosexual about that. I'm just
So
saying,
I was never really um, loud about it, but I did it in secrecy, and I enjoyed it a lot. And now as an adult, I find it weird, but I enjoy it so much. It's dopamine releases.
yes, sir. And singing is a lot of fun. I didn't start till after I turned 60. I never sang where anybody could ever hear me until I did it on a Clapper Live at the
Right,
age of 60. So
right.
if you've ever heard me sing, you've only heard me sing in my 60s. Just saying. Paul asked, smooth or crunchy peanut butter?
Am I having it with jelly? With jelly, smooth. Without jelly, crunchy.
That's a fair answer. I'll see. That's one I don't choose a side on. The only reason I choose smooth now is because I don't have teeth, and you try to eat crunchy peanut butter without teeth, it hurts. It's quite
Yeah,
painful.
I'm guessing.
Now back to singing for a minute. I know you enjoy singing. You've done it in my karaoke music lives. I know you sing in the Twisted Karaoke lives that Val hosts, or Paul. What is your favorite song to sing?
Um, Bury My Bones by Whiskey Myers is one of my favorites.
That's cool.
I have so
Okay.
many favorites I go back to, but that is one of my top songs to sing.
Saying for just a moment that cost is not an obstacle. Where in the world would you like to go visit that you haven't visited yet?
My homeland. I'm not allowed to visit it.
Okay.
My ancestral lands is where I'd like to go visit, but because the prime minister is such a bastard, I'm blacklisted of visiting that land.
That sucks.
Right.
Paul wants to know if you enjoy the Wheel of Doom.
If I'm not playing, it's awesome. I do like the Wheel of Doom. It brings me out of my comfort zone. And like I said, well, I didn't
So
have much of that as a childhood. So now as an adult, it's my music library is growing.
Patient OU812 and Marshall want to know where is your ancestral home?
Armenia. I'm Armenian.
Right on. So Peter asks, are you looking forward to Christmas? Hey,
Oh,
Vito.
always. Some winters I do volunteer and go to the Shriners Hospital as Santa Claus. Um, this is going to be one of the years, so I will be in Los Angeles on the 26th of December at the Shriners Hospital.
So what you're saying is if enough money is raised for you to shave your beard, it won't happen until after Christmas.
Correct.
Absolutely fair enough. Are there any specific traditions that you got to observe as a child that you are now continuing on for your children as far as Christmas?
As far as Christmas, well, like I said, we celebrate on a different day. Um, we don't do much different than your traditional American style Christmases.
Right.
Pretty similar to that.
Okay. Now my best friend, and I don't mean my best clapper friend is Ronan. My best friend in life is a
Ronan's
gentleman named
awesome.
Ron. He's been my friend for 47 years, and he's married to an Armenian woman. So, with respect to that, what traditions are you still practicing now that you're a family man?
Uh,
And I
we,
know
we we're
Armenians are generally
very
traditional people.
we're we're very religious or oriented. Um, kind of like how America's foundations are. We're very conservative as a people. Typically, God, country, family.
Right
Those
on.
beliefs are very instilled in our people as well. Um, for Christmas, we do all the traditional Santa Claus, red Santa Claus, bag of toys comes down the chimney. The cookies, the milk.
Right
Um,
on. The patient OU812 says he's following you, Vanilla, just so you know.
well, thank you.
Diego Duran, if you're talking about Peter Haywood, yes, he's in here. Ted asks, Orthodox Christmas?
Orthodox Christmas, yes. We are Apostolic Orthodox, uh, so that's why we celebrate on the Epiphany,
Right on.
or what people call small Christmas, little Christmas.
Yeah, and the Italians call it little Christmas, but same idea. What is one thing about you that most people would be surprised to learn that they don't already know?
Most people are surprised to learn that I'm a chef. Um, it, it, I do cook a lot. I do post some of my stuff on social media. I'm not so good as content creating. Some people are with their phone in their hand, creating content all day. They take pictures of everything, videos of everything they do. I've never been one of those people. It always is my wife who's like, "Hey, take step by steps pictures of that." Or, are you going to take pictures of that? Should I for you?
Right on. Yeah, I get that. I do post a lot of content, but there are some really incredible content creators on here, and I don't count myself among them because I still feel like I really have a lot to learn. But um, Paul wants to know if you could sit down and talk to any celebrities, past or present, who would it be and why?
Past celebrities.
Well,
It's definitely going to have to be a musician.
Bugs, that was my next question to ask him anyway.
Probably like Elvis. Sit down and be able to talk to someone like Elvis.
Believe it or not, that would be my answer as well, but probably not for the same reason.
My reason would be because that feeling of singing in front of so many people, having women pass out in front of you. What does that actually feel like? I wasn't allowed to learn, instruments or sing.
Right.
I would have been like,
yep. Now, see, I would want to talk to Elvis to ask him why he allowed himself to be financially manipulated so badly by Colonel Tom Parker. And it's generally agreed and understood now. He was, for want of a better way to put it, he was financially abused by Colonel Tom Parker his entire career.
right.
And his take, for example, of what Elvis made was upwards of 50%, where most representatives, agents, whatever, take 10, maybe 12%. Elvis gave 50%. I would ask him why he allowed that to happen. Now, Bugs asked, and I was going to ask you anyway, what is your favorite dish to make?
Okay, so stuffed grape leaves, stuffed with rice, minced lamb, mint. Something I grew up making with grandma. And gotta have it with some yogurt and garlic sauce. It's amazing.
All right. Now, Mystic Rose, I'll ask your question just as you typed it, but understand he actually lives in California. But she wants to know, do you have programs over there such as Awana, which is like Scouts, but church-based?
We have an Armenian based scouting system here in the US. And it's in most of the major cities that Armenians are present in. So most of California, we have some chapters in like Arizona. I believe there's a recent chapter in Georgia somewhere, and one or two in Massachusetts.
Bugs wants to know indica or sativa and why.
Oh, it's indica. I don't smoke sativa. I'm already a hyper person. I don't drink coffee because it gives me like super jitters. Very low in caffeine intake for me. I definitely need indica to be on the ground or I'm out of the sky.
Oh, I get that. Is your wife also Armenian?
Yes. And I say that because we're a small, very small minority in the world already. It's something that we try to do is keep the Armenian thing going.
Now, I know there was an Armenian genocide in my lifetime. What would you suggest to prevent that from happening again?
Thoughts
on it?
Keep everybody armed. First thing they did before the genocide is they came to Armenian citizen homes and took away their weapons.
Yep, that makes sense to me.
And it happened in World War II too. Hitler actually is quoted saying that his blueprints of extermination come from what happened in World War I to the Armenians.
Right. That goes right into Ted's question. Ted's question said his question was, living in California, your thoughts on gun control?
Fucking hate it. Is there any better way to say it? I mean, everything's neutered. My gun has to have so many things changed on it from manufacture to be able to come into my hands. For rifles, for pistols, most of the pistols you guys can buy, I have to go off a roster of guns I'm allowed or not allowed to own. And it's like, How is that fair?
It's not fair. You're absolutely right. Vito wants to know, where did you get married?
In a church in California.
All right. Ronan says he loves to cook, and I know this to be true. Not that I've ever enjoyed his cooking,
Uh,
but I cook for his wife a lot. His favorite dish to cook is chicken or veal marsala. Do you like marsala dishes?
I do. I like dishes from all around the world. I cook a lot of different types of food. Um, it, it's something I've liked to do before I even went to school, before I even knew I wanted to be a chef. It's something I did as a kid. I helped, grandma cook. I helped. My dad was a big cook himself at home. Uh, it, it, we're kind of like Italians. We like having everybody in the kitchen while we're cooking.
Yeah, that is a big thing for Italians, and I'm Italian, so I get it. I don't know what this means. I'm going to assume you do, but Jack, the lad with the box set, says, "I don't mean no offense by this, but can I?" He wants to know if I can ask you. Do you remember when he asked your opinion?
Oh, he's reading the shirt. Remember when I asked for your opinion?
Okay,
Neither do I.
I hadn't read your shirt, so I didn't understand it, but that makes sense. Um, I apologize. I should have. It's all
Oh, you're
backwards.
good. You're
My shirt has
you're
a lot
good,
less
Tank.
ears. That so.
I didn't even realize I was wearing this shirt for the interview, but it actually fits.
It does fit. Um, have you lived in California your entire life?
I was born and raised in Pasadena, California. Most people know it as the city of the Rose Parade. Um, go ahead.
If you could live in a state other than California, where would you want to live?
I thought it was Texas, and I went to Texas, and they're Californiaing the fuck out of Texas.
Yes,
So I
they are.
thought Tennessee, and Tennessee's turning into New York. Um, I don't know, mate. I don't even want
Florida,
to
maybe.
mention what state. I don't even
Florida,
want to
maybe.
mention my next state because I don't want them to mess that state up too.
I get it. Ted wants to know, how
But
did you become part of the Shocker crew?
you know what? I don't know. So funny thing was, I used to come to your karaoke's on Tuesday nights.
Yep.
This was back before you took the little pause. Um, and I think one night you had mentioned that you did karaoke with Gangster Granny, and I said, hmm. So I searched her name, Gangster Granny, and it came up, and I sent her a follow. And the following Tuesday, they were doing a karaoke, and I jumped in on their live, and I just said, hey. Um, and you were there, and you said, hey, I vouch for Vanilla Gorilla. I know him. He sang on my live before. He's good people. And I didn't sing with them for a few weeks. I was just, watching their Wheel of Doom. Um, and I just got brave enough one day to start singing with them. And I joined in, and I don't know. The therapy sessions are working, I guess. It's an inside
Right.
joke. But yeah.
Yeah. Bug says so. It's Tank's fault. I'll take that hit. Bugs, that you can give me the blame for that, and I stand by it. Uh, Vanilla Gorilla is good people. I would say
Thank
that
you,
to
thank you.
anybody, and never take that back. Paul said you were the devil for picking songs for us, but I think I had my revenge Tuesday.
Oh, he's got me back plenty of times. I think I got to pay him back a little bit. He's gave me too much. He needs some change.
That's fair. Uh, who's your favorite Canadian?
Favorite Canadian? Ooh, is she in here? I can't see the comments, but I've made friends with a Canadian uh, named Julie's. Awesome people. Um, I've known her since a little before the convoy in Canada happened, the truckers convoy, and
Right.
yeah.
Now, I rarely would answer a question like this, but I would have to say, if I had to name my favorite Canadian, and I've met some truly amazing Canadian citizens, I would have to say it's Blues Man because I've met him in person. He's a phenomenal guy, brilliant musician, and he's one of the nicest people you'll ever meet. Uh,
Awesome, man. I do agree.
and that takes nothing from any other Canadian friends that I have. And I just recently interviewed Justin, who's a Canadian citizen living in Germany because he found his wife here in Clapper and he moved to Germany to be with her.
To
He's
Germany,
another
right?
phenomenal guy and a brilliant, he was really a good interview too. So I'm, you know,
Canadians are great people for the most part. Mick Anabe, another good friend from Canada, I had. Lots of great Canadians I've met on social media.
so Ted
Great
wants to
people.
know, do you think Canada should be our 51st state?
All right, let's get down to a little business here. They're going to be 51st, 52nd, 53rd, maybe up to 56th. Who knows how many times we divide it? That's a little bit of a joke, but in all fairness, a lot of Canadians are starting to realize that might be a step in the right direction.
You want to explain
It,
that?
it, a lot of Canadians that I've spoken to, a lot of them are still diehard Canadians, and no offense to you guys, but a lot of other Canadians that used to be um, Canada only are saying we might need some saving from the U.S., especially in the provinces of like Saskatchewan, British Columbia, and Alberta. Those provinces have been subsidizing the rest of Canada for too many years, and they want a little bit of their own freedoms. They don't understand that they probably subsidize some of our states too, but that's a different topic.
Blues Man says, you think we would give up health care and stuff? No way.
Some people would give up healthcare for gun rights. There's people who don't care about their healthcare. They'd rather be able to defend themselves.
Peter wants to know, do you ever smoke hashish?
Oh, of course, in Lebanon. Some of the good stuff was back in Lebanon.
Swiss Mountain, welcome in. This is an interview show. I am interviewing the one and only original Vanilla Gorilla. We are always happy to see new faces in here, though. Um, Ted wants to know, do you agree Ontario should not be allowed as a state?
um, I don't know, man. Toronto's really overrun now. Toronto used to be a great place.
I, personally, there's positives and negatives, whichever way you look at it. Um,
Right.
I Canadians and Americans are friends, and we should remember
Yes.
that first and foremost. Um, no matter how any conversation about whether they should become another state, another U.S. state or not, let's remember Canadians have been our friends and partners in whatever we get involved with. So keep that in
Right.
mind. Um,
Right. No, I like I said, I love my Canadians. They're one of the best neighbors to have. You look at some of these other countries around the world to have as neighbors, you'd be grateful for the neighbors you have.
absolutely. Paul wants to know, what's your favorite hobby away from Clapper?
Electronics. I like building electronics, batteries, broken stuff, just soldering, uh, old school electronic building.
Right on. So this question is asked by Bugs. She wants to know, is it true Bugs is your favorite crew member? She's asking for Tim.
Well, if I had to pick one person out the crew that I had to meet first or soon or what have you, it'd be Bugs. I'd want to smoke with her. she's down to earth, and she's one of my people, smokers. So yeah, definitely Bugs.
I've met
I mean, I'd meet them all, but
yeah, and I've met Bug. She's awesome. No. Peter wants to know: do you have a CB radio?
not anymore. No.
Come in, John. So you've had one in the past, then?
I did have one in the past. When we downsized from my house, our first house, to an apartment, I had to get rid of a bunch of stuff and sell stuff.
So, having asked that, what was your CB handle?
Vanilla Gorilla.
Should have known, huh? Okay. Do you follow football at all? Pro NFL?
Not unless we go back to the early '90s.
Who is your
I
favorite
stopped.
team?
It had to be the 49ers.
That was a good year. That was a good time to be a 49ers fan, though, in the 90s.
It was the end of the great era for the 49ers, but they haven't been doing much great since then.
Right.
So yeah.
Well, it happens. I hate the way they've allowed politics to crawl into it, and it's driven a lot of good fans away. But for me, I ignore the political stuff. I watch it for what it is. Although I am convinced it's becoming more and more like professional wrestling. It's scripted. They know who's going to be the champion every year and all that crap. So, but it is what it is.
I kind of stopped watching sports when I heard the phrase "give them circuses and they'll never revolt."
Say that again.
Give them bread and circuses and they'll never revolt.
Right.
And I realized, that's why they do all of this. That's why these sports things bring in so much money. It's a way for them to keep us docile.
Now, let me ask you this. I've made no secret of the fact that I use Clapper as a means of socializing because I don't get out as much as I'd like to. Do you find Clapper to be cathartic?
Yes. I do the same. I've moved 2 hours away from an hour and a half away from home. All my
Mhm.
friends live that far away from me. Was a way for me to, well, social media was a way for me to continue speaking with them and hanging out with them. And I just made great friends along the way. So I don't have very many friends here in Bakersfield. I'm not a very friendly person. I'm very opinionated, and I will say what I'm thinking.
I actually respect that, though, brother. I like somebody, even if I don't agree with them, I appreciate the fact that somebody has definite opinions and isn't afraid to say what their opinion is.
Right.
You know, it's
I
better if
like
you can,
I like
yeah,
assholes better than fake people.
but it's still, and it's better if you can disagree and disagree civilly, though, and not make it a fight. But sometimes you got to fight. I'm just saying.
Right.
Now this is a variation on a question asked earlier, but Ted wants to know what would you say to your younger self, good and bad?
Uh, Again, uh, don't be held back. Attempt to do things outside your comfort zone. Um, um, and always give stuff your 100%, even when you know you're not good at it.
Right.
At least give it your 100%, so it doesn't look really bad. If you're already bad at something and you only give 60% of your effort, it's going to look horrible.
Absolutely. I have to add. Now this is a direct quote from Ted. Why are you so sexy? No homo.
What the fuck? um, Good genes? I don't know. You can't say that now. No, there's big controversy. It's not the genes. It's cosmetic surgery, I guess.
Well, let's be honest, though, genetics does have something to do with that.
Right. Yeah, the male pattern baldness and everything.
Well, but we can't escape our genetics, so vanilla, that's the
Right.
thing.
Oh, I agree.
And it really never, because look, you see how much hair I have. Okay. I have a brother who's 11 months older than me, and he still has a thick, full head of hair and a beard whiter than mine. So you you never know. Some people hit the genetic lottery. Some people join the Navy and wear a hat with an eagle on it. I'm just saying. I'd like to take a minute before we go to any more questions and announce that next week, um, in a, last week, we were unable to interview Ironman Mike because he was under the weather and he had a sore throat and he wasn't up to talking enough to answer my questions. So I rescheduled him. So next week at this time, 3 o'clock Central Standard Time, my guest will be Ironman Mike. So
Awesome.
I'm looking forward to it. He's a Marine. He is a patriot, and he's an overall good guy, and he's been everywhere. So I'm looking forward to that interview.
I look forward to all your interviews. Every single person you've had up here. I get to meet the person without having to meet the person. If that makes any sense.
Yes.
I could sit in an interview and figure out what the person is about, and if I'll get along with them, and hey, that's an awesome person, I'm gonna give him a follow.
And I like to say, Vanilla, I've been blessed with the number of people that are willing to sit and let me question them for an hour and let our friends down in the chat help me question them for an hour. And I have
Right,
found we've got some really amazing people in this app. And
right.
it's been an honor to interview every single person I've interviewed, today included. I'll ask this because Becky is late to the interview. She
Okay.
says, speaking of genetics, fun question. What are your genes? What nations are your ancestors from?
Well, my niece actually just did her DNA, and we knew from her father's side that he had some Italian in him, but she came out 97.7% Armenian and 2.3% Maltese.
That's cool.
So I've never done a test. I've been wanting to take one of those really nice ones with all the little breakdowns. So those are a little expensive, but
Yeah.
I'd want to see exactly where I lie in the world tree.
Yeah. I've done the 23andMe DNA test and I did the Ancestry.com DNA test. And I can say without any fear of being wrong, that the overwhelming majority of my ancestry is strictly European. So I'm white going way, way back.
Right. I'm
Although
not. I'm
although
the
there are
other
some people
white meat.
I was going to say there are some people that don't technically consider Italians white, although I've seen a lot of them. They're white, trust me. And
Right.
Paul says, "Damn," he says, damn, he's done me twice." But don't tell Tabby.
I tell people that often. I say I'm not really white because I'm not considered white. I'm considered Middle Eastern or Asian. So we're like white, but not white. It's like the other white meat.
Yeah, I get it. Peter wants to know, what are your favorite movies?
It's too many to list. Tears of the Sun, one of my favorite movies. Hidalgo, so many of them.
I get it. That's an easy question for me. Um, and just typically, my favorite depends on the mood. But my overall favorite movie was, and will be Tombstone.
Tombstone's
I
another one. Yeah.
It's a phenomenal movie, and there's never a time I can't watch. I could watch it over and over. Um, what is your most hated song to listen to or to sing, Ted?
Oh, is that Ted asking?
Yeah, he wants to know what's your most hated song.
Um, what's my favorite? I I don't know. Oh, that Gangnam Style song. There we go. When that thing comes on and everybody starts screaming, right? That was one.
Ronan reminds us that Caucasian refers to white, tan-looking skin. So,
White, right? Olive, fair skinned, right?
Britton, I was going to ask him that one out. What is your favorite song? And not necessarily to sing, but because I can't sing my favorite song because I don't have the voice for it. But
See, growing up, some of the first music I listened to didn't have any lyrics. Um, Daft Punk or uh, lewd, a lot of house, DJ something music. So, um, but an actual song, I'm gonna have to say like uh, "Move Bitch" by Ludacris.
yeah, that's a good song too. I like that one. Vito wants to know, DJ Vito Zupo. So, Vanilla, what do you think of Paul having a sex change?
Again, how many times does he want to go through this operation?
Uh, you, I, it's not often I get left speechless, but that pretty well did it. So,
Sorry.
oh no, you're good. Um, what advice would you give to somebody who is new to Clapper and they're wanting to figure it out, or
Relax, enjoy yourself, find different people, chat with people. You're on a social media app. Being social, the key word.
right?
Do some socializing. Stop being trolls. And don't be like I get when you come on here and you kind of like, bicker with friends and stuff, but don't just jump in automatically and be a bully because you're gonna be perceived as the asshole, and not many very people will like that.
I agree. And Paul, I have to agree with you. Some of my favorite women are those without penises. Just saying. Um, I'm going to go ahead and kind of wrap things up. And one of the things I've done with more of the recent interviews and something I'll continue to do is to offer my guests an opportunity to do a shout out. Shout out can be totally your choice, but this is your opportunity for that now.
Well, I want to shout out the Shocker Crew, Tank himself, and thank you guys. Like I said, I came to Clapper with a few friends from Instagram, and it's become like a family here. A lot of therapy needed from this family, but somehow they tell me they are the therapy. I don't know. I don't believe anyone anymore. I'm just sitting in the nut house going, "Ooh." But yeah, everything's been awesome. I love all of you guys. There's a few of them like Bluesman, Diamond Lou. I love their music. You guys are awesome. Ronan, I can't see. I forget Ronan often because Ronan hasn't been doing much singing lately, and I've been forgetting Ronan. But Ronan, I sorry if I keep forgetting your name, but Ronan's a kick-ass man. I'd like to bring that up too. Um, when I start live sometimes and I'm just sitting there monologuing, Ronan will stick around and chat with me. So
Right.
it's a lot of awesome people here on the app. Um, Shout outs to all of you guys.
Yeah, Ronan is truly one of my favorite human beings. The fact that he's a rock star is just a nice bonus, because I can say my friend is a rock star because he is. I do want to shout out on the you know following up with you. I want to shout out first and foremost Paul, the Moist Reaper, Fear the Reaper, whatever you know him by. He's Paul to me. He is the guy that screen records every interview I do, except when he's the subject of the interview, and he's the one that makes this possible for me to put it on YouTube on Wednesdays. Following the interviews, I want to shout out my mods. My mods do a great job of keeping it cleaned up, keeping the questions pinned, so I don't have to try to pin them and all that other stuff too.
Awesome.
What did I miss?
Yeah, Paul is. I finally got comments. I swiped back for comments. I'm reading some of the stuff, but yeah, all you guys are awesome. Vito's another cool man I met on here. You know, awesome person. Uh, I I kind of hurt for him sometimes because he's the butt of all the jokes, but he's such a great sport about it. So see what I mean? It's like,
Vito's a great guy, and
and when I say
he takes
butt of all jokes, the pun was intended.
well, he takes it in stride. He knows he's our friend, and we don't mean it personally.
Right.
So he shouldn't take it personally. Guys, uh, it's not unusual to find Vanilla Gorilla in my Tuesday music lives. And if his children make it possible, you'll hear him singing my live too. Also, follow the Shocker Crew, Gangsta Granny, Ted Dweebert, the Moist Reaper, Bug 70, and the others. They do a twisted karaoke, and their lives when they're not singing are very entertaining as well. And on Wednesday at I want to say 6 o'clock Eastern time, Blues Man. Is that when you do Blues Man? Will host a live intended more for the musicians. But if you sit in and listen to Blues Man, to Diamond Lou official, to Britain, when he comes up to Ronan, Gangster Granny will sing in that live. They are really, really, really talented people,
All
and
of
it's
them, all of them, great artists.
one of the best lives you can be in, and just to go in there and listen and enjoy. They're that good. So I definitely encourage you guys to do that. Also, Friday nights, if you find yourself sitting around nothing to do, I do a live hangout live every Friday. Starts at 7 Central Time. Again, don't forget next Sunday I'll be interviewing Ironman Mike. Hope to see you guys there. Um, Vanilla Gorilla, I appreciate you, brother. Thank you for
Thank
taking
you
the
for
time.
having me on.
And with that, guys, have a wonderful Sunday, and I'll see you guys on the Clapper Streets.